I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Why are they so secretive about it, though? Is it embarrassment for how ludicrous it all seems?
I mean, the Motion Picture Association of America controls this system, and the MPAA is made up of the 6 major film studios. So they want to keep control of this rating system because the less restrictive film, a film that gets a less restrictive rating gets out to a wider audience. And so by keeping it secret, no one really can criticize what's going on inside.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any other type of videos, it could be topics or reviews or random or video games or pretty much whatever, feel free. You just send either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. But this is for the film, documentary I should say. This film is not yet rated. Now, I've seen this before. I do enjoy it. It's not as good as I remember. I do have issues with it, but it's a nice take on the MPAA, the American and Puto Association of Assholes. Because it's a documentary looking into how hypocritical they can be, how close to censorship they can be, how they're not supposed to be, they say they're not a secret organization, but at the time no one was knowing who they were, and how come I can't know the people who are judging my movie. And it's fairly well put together. There's a variety of film clips, including very sexy film clips, about the danger of having your film NC-17 because you can't run TV spots. Big video chains won't carry the NC-17 label. Again, how weird it is, like you shoot someone in the head, it's fine, but if orgasm lasts too long, then that's bad. How it seems like they're more harsher on gay stuff than straight stuff. How they talk about how they're comprised of all people, all parents with kids 5 to 17, which is not true because some of them are not parents, and some of them have kids that are 20, 23, 25. At least I like the presentation. Also, throughout the film, the filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, they hire a private investigator to look into the identity of people on the MPAA board. A lot of it is that portion of the flick. And there's a lot of nice nuggets to get out of this documentary. Some of the stuff I just said, also how they kind of use the fear of government censorship to keep power. How, they're really adamant about the copyright and the piracy, As some person says, don't spray DDT to kill a gnat. They're given, yeah, piracy is bad, but some of the judgments are given worse than people who committed robbery from a bank with a gun. There's a difference. I will say, though, watch it again, I liked it okay, but I found more issues than I remember. Number one, I'm not sure about the whole hiring the PI to find the identity. I get that, okay, you want to know identity because they say they're secret. But it's very stalkerish. It's very stalkerish. And then the point that you give their names out in the documentary. This is who this person is. This is who this person is. This is their name. And I'm like, oh great, so now people can find those names and not even just the first name, the last name as well is given. I thought that was rather irresponsible. And I'm like, well, okay, you don't know anything about how they're rating the movies. Maybe they're being told what to do. Even the movie suffices that they're kind of pushed to do one or the other at times from the higher up. That doesn't deserve them being the full fucking name let out. Like, this is their face and this is their name. And they're very gung-ho. The documentary filmmakers are very gung-ho about that. I'm like, there are other issues to look into more than the identities of who they are. I just thought that was, watch it again, that was just very stalkerish and very unethical. I don't know, just, maybe if there was a blurry name and their first name. Like, you blur their face out as their first name, and maybe, again, they say that they're a parent, but they have no kids. Or they say it has to be parents, and their kids are 5 to 17. That's not true. Like, if you put the person, you blur their face, and they go, oh, this person has a kid, but it's 25. This person not a parent, this person not a parent, but they say it has to be parents 5. That's fine. But they have their full face and their full name, and what you don't do, have their fucking social security as well. That was too far. And I watch it again. Yeah, I don't care for that. I thought that was really unethical and really, what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsible. That's just my take on it. It's the other issues I had. Kevin Smith, him talking about, well, the women in peril, that's offensive to me. I'm like, well, I get, I don't want to see rape in movies, but when you say women in peril, well, slasher films kind of come into that play, and I don't agree with that, Kevin Smith. I kind of get what he's saying, though, when it comes to the rape in movies. But, I mean, that's just different taste for different people, as in, it's not that they want to see rape, is that they see the hardship so that the drama or the retribution or something is that much more, hopefully, rewarding. Or more powerful, more dramatic, or more emotional. But more so, this one guy, Gunnar Palace, director, as a documentary on bad dad soldiers. He shows clips of the documentary and people are cussing up a storm, saying, fuck, motherfucker. And, it's about bad dad and soldiers. And he's bitching because, well, it's PG-13. I don't know why it's PG-13. This is reality. This is real soldiers. The language is not gratuitous. I'm sorry, when I see a film where a bunch of soldiers are dealing with bad dad, other soldiers, it's all real, and they're cussing up a storm. I'm sorry, dude. I don't think it should be PG-13. The rated R is fine. What's the problem? I didn't understand his bitching because would you want a 13 or 12-year-old to watch a documentary about Baghdad soldiers going through what they did? Would you really want to show that to a 12-year-old? I mean, there are soldiers out there. Fabio, he's a soldier. What do you think? Would you want to show a 12-year-old Gunner Palace a Baghdad soldier, documentary? I thought he was going to bitch the director that he got an NC-17. No, he got an R, and he's bitching they didn't get a PG-13. I went, what? And the documentary filmmakers put this in the movie. I thought this was just a director being a whiny bitch. I'm sorry. Again, if it was, why is this NC-17? It should be rated R. I can understand. But that's not. It's R. Well, this should be PG-13. You're a fucking idiot to the director. If he ever sees this, you're a fucking idiot. Take the R. There's nothing wrong with it. Older person would be watching it anyway. It's meant for older audiences anyway. What the fuck? Like I said, I like the way it's done. I like the way the way scenes are edited. I like that they bring up the hypocrisy. Like, wait a minute, this film has this and it's way worse than this. Because that's something many of us can bring up about the MPAA. It's a hypocrisy. How come that film gets rated R but this doesn't? And how the ratings board says that doesn't matter. You cannot compare another film. Which is true. It's stupid, but it's true. Which is funny. You never hear the MPAA nowadays. You never hear about them nowadays. Probably because of streaming. Because, hey, whatever, you don't release it, whatever the fuck. You never hear... Where the fuck was the MPAA with cuties? And all this other shit. You never hear the MPAA. You never hear them anymore. Go fucking figure. And it is funny how nowadays... Okay, you watch Rambo Last Blood. Okay. I'm not a fan of the film. I love the Rambo films. The fifth one to me didn't feel like a Rambo film. Whatever. If you liked it, teach their own. I can admit the third act is a very violent third act. Even have a heart being ripped out. I do find it funny that got an R rating. But the work print of this got an NC-17. The work print of this is easily an R rating, not NC-17. But the MPAA did it. And that's one other... Really, my two detriments to the film, for me, is number one, the showing the actual people's faces and names and their full names. I think that was irresponsible. And two... They kind of hamper on violence. Where they should have had people... It seems like more people were mad at the MPAA because of language and sex. Where are the people that got trashed by the MPAA because of violence? Where are they? That would have been more interesting than the constant going back to the investigators, following them, being very stalkerish. What is it, the Poughkeepsie tapes? There's so many horror film directors, like Wes Craven when he was still around. That's a perfect guy you could have got for that. How Wes Craven has dealt with the MPAA so many times. And all these other directors. Yes, even Eli Roth. Or Adam Green. Actually, I don't know if Adam Green was the... Actually, I don't think his film was out at this time. This is 2006. Eli Roth, he might not have been around either. But Wes Craven was. Why don't you talk to someone like Wes Craven and horror film directors and deal with the... Well, we have this violence in the MPAA, and they gave us this. And when you watch it, even the uncut material, it's nothing. But yet this film is way gorier and it gets away scot-free. The hypocrisy of that is never touched upon, and that is, to me, is ridiculous. All these slasher films, all these horror films, action films that got cut and cut and cut down by the MPAA for bullshit reasons. Like, talk with action directors and talk with horror film directors that got punished by the MPAA. But the movie never does that. That, to me, the movie should have focused more on that, again, than the constant going back to the private investigation. Who's the identity? I would rather hear from Wes Craven than this fucking director Gunnar Powell's bitching that my war documentary, they did a PG-13. Fuck off. So yeah, watch it again. I liked, when I say the presentation, I mentioned that before, not only the way clips are edited in, but there's certain bits of animation. Like there's a bit of animation that discusses each of the ratings and what you could do and what you could say. Like animated. With PG-13, you just say shit, and with rated R, you say fuck, motherfuck. Like, again, the way they describe that in animation style, I thought that was rather fun. The plentiful amount of people interviewed, different directors. You have the director of Boys Don't Cry. You have the Kevin Smith. You have, was it Matt Stone? I think Matt Stone from South Park. And the MPA deserves a good kick in the nuts. So right then and there, you're already on my good side. So overall, it is interesting. It is fun. It's worth a watch. But watch it again. It's not as higher up as I remember. Because like I said, they should have gotten the horror angle, the action film angle from directors. That never comes into play. I think that's a fucking mistake. They almost want to play into the of, well, who knows what kids, when they watch violence, like it's like almost the documentary's going this close to the angle of, violence in movies will affect people in real life, which to me is ridiculous for this type to go into that. It seems like also, another thing they could have looked into, the big video chains. Ask them why they don't take NC-17. They could. They could have a section for NC-17, but the big video chains, they won't carry it. Ask them. Investigate them. Why won't you carry video, why won't you carry this stuff? That's another thing they could have looked into investigative-wise. They don't. They spend too much fucking time with this private investigation, looking into the identities, which, again, fucking stalkerish. Kidnap them too? I mean, their full names are out there. So it does bring up some good points. There's some good presentation. The MPAD and the kick in the nuts is fine with me. But, again, I do have issues with that. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.